Happy Independence Day. I'm Meteorologist Chris Ramirez with your tropics update. We are looking at a quiet tropics, no activity happening in the Atlantic basin, excuse me, at least for the next 7 days. All thanks to some Saharan dust that's currently just draped over the Atlantic. And so we have a large plume of this actually heading our way here pretty shortly. So as we head into the end of next week, we are expecting another plume of this dust to make its way into the Caribbean and into the Gulf, eventually bringing us the return of hazy skies for us here across southeast Texas. So if you are sensitive to those lung concerns, or if you have any medical insensitivities when it comes to air quality, we are looking at more of the hazy plume that's going to return by the end of next week, which is going to be around July 9th through July 11th. And interesting enough is that we're going to see this dust stretch from southeast Texas all the way to the Saharan desert out in Africa. And so that's what we're looking at in terms of our outlook, is the return of hazy skies. But the good news in all of this is that's going to keep the tropics mostly quiet and tame, at least for the next 2 to 3 days. As we look at the how the Saharan dust really does affect the tropics, of course, when it comes to tropical ingredients, you have abundant moisture, you have water temperatures above 80 degrees, and then when you insert that Saharan dust layer, that really brings a drier level of air. It really also it blocks the sunlight somewhat. And we're also seeing less sunlight results in cooler water temperatures. And then also we're expecting that dry air to really just tear those tropical systems apart, especially as we head into the next few days here, especially as we go into the next 7 days. So we've already crossed off all three on the list: Bertha, Cristobal, Dolly, Edward, Faye, Gonzalo. Those are the next names on the list. Just a reminder that even though things are quiet, we have seen quite a bit of storms in the month of July. All remember Hurricane Beryl that happened a good couple years ago, or was it last year? No, it was a couple years ago that happened where we saw some impacts from Beryl. When that happened around July 7th through the 9th is when we were tracking that storm. So just kind of put a sense that that's why we do these tropical updates every day, is so that we can stay on top of those tropical concerns, because it doesn't take much time for a storm to spawn off and become something that really could impact Texas or the Gulf. And so that's why we are doing these tropical updates, and hopefully we don't cross too many names off the list, especially as we are expecting more of a less active hurricane season. Even though we are in July, we are looking at those conditions becoming the peak of hurricane season as we head into September 10th. That's when we've seen quite a bit of storm activity when it comes to the tropics. We had several named storms that we've seen. We had Ike that happened in September. Of course, Hurricane Katrina back in 2005 that affected New Orleans. And so that's something to keep an eye on as we head into the rest of hurricane season. But we are also looking at a lot of wind shear. And when we have an El Nino setup like we're having this year, that wind shear, and when we say that is upper level winds that are faster than what they are on the lower levels, and that really does a good job at also tearing tropical systems apart and keeping them mostly calm. But when it comes to El Nino, we usually get a stormier and wetter than normal winter, as well as the next few months could be wetter than normal. We've seen quite a bit of rainfall here across the Lone Star State, and that really has eliminated drought conditions for most of the state, even though there is some portions of central Texas that are enduring that drought. But of course, here across southeast Texas and across the Houston area, we are mostly droughtless, as we are benefiting from, especially when it comes to the recent rain activity. NOAA has already predicted a less active hurricane season as we get closer through the end of this year. They're predicting 8 to 14 named storms. We've only had one so far. Hurricanes are going to range between 3 and 6. A major hurricane, which is a category 3 or stronger, that is where they're expecting 1 to 3 of these storms to be major hurricane status. And of course, usually we average at 14 named storms, 7 hurricanes, and 3 of those being major hurricanes. And so that less active outlook is very well expected, at least for the next couple of months. High temps are going to be in the 90s, at least for the next 10 days here across the Houston area. Average highs at 94 as far as your 7-day forecast. We're not expecting any tropical storms or any hurricanes, at least for the next 7 days here across the Houston area, but we are looking at a daily isolated shower chance at least through the next 7 days. Highs in the 90s, lows in the 70s. We are expecting also those conditions to remain mostly calm and quiet in terms of nothing too widespread or any flooding concern that we're expecting to see, especially as we've seen quite a bit of activity for the month of June and into the month of May. But just to kind of recap our tropics update is that we are expecting a quiet outlook, which is very good news for all of us. The only thing we have to worry about is dodging those fireworks later on this evening, especially as we are expecting a quiet night tonight. So no activity expect for the next 7 days. Lots of Saharan dust making its way across the Atlantic, moving into the Caribbean, and we will see the return of hazy skies as we head into the end of next week. And so that's all I have for you in terms of our tropics update. If you are watching, make sure to have a safe rest of your Independence Day and enjoy those fireworks shows as we are expecting clear skies and great conditions for viewing, especially as we head into the next few hours. Have a good, safe, and rest of your weekend. I'm meteorologist Chris Ramirez with your Tropics Update. We'll see you next time.